Well, hello. This is Dr. August Dunning, and sometimes I do these interesting little mountain walks talking about dry fasting. Yes, I'm up at Observer Ranch, and I'd like to talk today about tick bites. There's a lot of things that are going on right now that you're not being told. I talk about in this book, Staying Here, about copper in particular. Copper is one of these metals that actually is antibacterial. And a lot of these ticks have very, very bad bacterial infections that get inside the body. And without the copper, they're just, you're at the mercy of the medical industry and their antibiotics and all these expensive cures and stuff. When all you need is copper generally. Also iodine for your thyroid, so all your cells are able to operate properly. The whole thing with this lack of copper thing, this copper toxicity bull, is because if you take copper, you don't need doctors because you are able to fight the bacterial infections that come with everyday existence. I mean, when you think about it, every day we're exposed to all kinds of stuff, and that stuff gets inside of you and causes all these problems. Ticks are particularly nasty. They have very, very bad, two or three really, really nasty ones. And the way to do this is to take some copper bisglycinate to get that copper in you. That's the big deal. And if you do that, you'll be able to fight these things off. I know Dr. Filinoff talks about curing tick bites with long dry fasts, but I don't know if Sergey knows about the copper problem right now or the iodine issues. But what he does is he gives 2 weeks of activated charcoal to get things out of the GI tract, I'm sure, liver massages, and sleeping outside and getting some energy from the earth. It's probably a good idea to go outside if it's warm enough. It's going to be like 28 degrees here tonight. If it's warm enough to actually walk outside barefoot, so you get direct contact with the earth and electrons into your body to neutralize stuff. But my suggestion is the copper issue. Copper is very interesting because the immune system drags copper over to bacteria and to an infection site of bacteria and releases the copper. The copper immediately disrupts the membrane of the bacteria and causes these holes in it. As soon as it's permeable, they flood inside and start messing up the bacterial's ability to replicate and all that good stuff. So my suggestion for tick bites is to up your copper intake. Get some copper bisglycinate, at least 2 to 4, maybe even 6 milligrams. And if you do that, you have a pretty good chance of getting rid of the tick problem over time. I don't think you need 9-day, 11-day dry fast to do this. I think you need to get back the nutrients that the industry has made sure you don't get. They've done some really nasty things when they took the medicine industry and introduced science, and they found out all the ways the body stays healthy, and they figured out I think they figured out how to make you unhealthy. And that's why they sell their expensive pharmaceuticals instead of cheap stuff like Lugol's iodine or beef liver. It's an issue where a lot of people can't even eat red meat, can't eat those meats because they have these allergic reactions because they probably have been bitten by something or been injected with something, or even mosquitoes inject things into you because they bite other animals and then they bite you. So dry fasting is the panacea for a lot of things, and in particular for things that are bacterial, because what dry fasting does is it gets rid of bacteria during the microautophagy. So when it comes to ticks, they're toughies, but I think the problem is a lack of copper in the diet, because everything seems to be a lack of copper. If you're fatigued, you won't have the copper to make cytochrome in the ATP process to transfer electrons back and forth to make ATP, so your energy goes down. If you're magnesium deficient, your energy goes down because you need magnesium to get the ATP out of the mitochondria. And if you eat the iodine and some salt to push out the bromine and fluorine and the stuff that perverts the thyroid importer, you're able to get these thyroid hormones built. If you're decreasing your iron, you end up taking the iron out of the pituitary and hypothalamus, which also need T3 and T4 for their operation to make the thyroid work. It's all integrated, it's all connected. So my first step, if I were you, if you have a tick bite or have the symptoms of some kind of Lyme disease or something like that, is to do the 2 weeks of activated charcoal. Get that going. Then do it, and also at the same time, do the copper bisglycinate and start taking Lugol's iodine. You can go online and find out all these guys that talk about it now. And then do a dry fast. Do a 5 to 7 day dry fast. See if the symptoms go away. I think they probably will. Anyway, that's it for the day. It's just a short, little video to kind of address a couple of important questions, I think, because copper is an antibacterial agent.
Yes?
We have a message. Can you remind people to subscribe, please, sir?
What now?
Please.
Oh, very well.